How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this jabberwock disappear. Ta-da! It's gone.
Hello everybody, I'm Strada.
Skip.
Today I build about
Skip.
one-shot killer, evil playthrough.
Skip. Okay, let's go to the build.
For race, it's either Azimar, Amberkin, Angelkin for the tanky option or human for more damage and more raw power. In this video we will focus on human. It will be a sword saint mostly build, but it's hard to start with that on first, so we will first take one level of Scale Fist Monk. For extra attack, bonus to armor class, and a free crane style, what more you can want. For the attributes, we'll spread them since game throws at you items that increase multiple attributes at once. Overall, it's just better to gain benefit from multiple than focus in one in Pathfinder Kingmaker. I know that in normal pen and paper it's just mad. Attribute progression is easy as we focus only on int, but since we start with even number of attributes, the last upgrade will not matter that much. You can take strength or whatever you wish. Only skills that are important for the build are mobility till rank 4 for extra armor class when fighting defensively, that's a very great option for a tank, and persuasion as high as we can go to improve our demoralized checks. For other skills, take whatever your party needs the most because you will have a lot of skill points. I recommend magic device and stealth plus perception because those are really nice fitting our stats allocation also. As first fit, we take a power attack as a prerequisite for other feats that we'll need in the future, and a good option against weak enemies or when we are using the True Strike spell. For human bonus feat, we take intimidating prowess, that is a preparation for level 3 when we get the dazzling display. And as a monk bonus feat, crane style, great defensive buff early on. Finally, for alignment, we'll go with lawful evil due to item requirements. But if you prefer lawful good, there is also a more tanky option for that. You take 2 paladin levels instead of 1 rogue level and 1 sword saint level. On level 1, you try to get any monk weapon to have 2 attacks in a round, enable fighting defensively, drink potion of mage armor, reduce person, and tank as best as you can. That's your main role. You are a tank. Okay, now we move to progression. I have tried to optimize the leveling process, so in the beginning you will focus on tanking, then crowd control, and in the end, damage. For levels 2 to 5, we take Sword Saint to rush to mirror image for most tankiness. On level 2, chosen weapon will be a bastard sword, but I would recommend switching to it only on level 3 when we get an extra 2 armor class and extra attack with spell strike. For level 1 spells, shield and true strike are critical for the build, and large person and reduce person are also a strong pick. On level 3, for feat selection, I recommend Dazzling Display as it's a strong debuff for Act 1 and it will be even stronger once we reach level 6. Our first Magus Arcane we get on level 4. I recommend Extended Magic as that will help us maintain our buffs all the time. Arcane Accuracy is good, but later on we'll have better things to do with our swift action and to use our arcane pull on. On level 5, another feat, here we take Cleave to help fight versus those trash mobs. For level 2 spells, I recommend Mirror Image. That's your most important spell on that level. Level 6 is a very important one because we take 1 level of Rogue of subclass Thug. This will make our demoralized attempts apply strong crowd control, frighten, making enemies run away from us. This works with dazzling display, and later on with CohhCarnage smash and dreadful carnage. Also, a free sneak attack dice is always welcome. For level 7 to 11, again we go back to Sword Saint. On level 7 we take CohhCarnage smash to demoralize everybody you hit with your power attacks. And as an extra Magus feat, Cleaving Finish. That will start to shine on level 9 when we'll take Vital Strike. Magus Arcana again on level 8. Here I would recommend Enduring Plate, just to have your weapon buff all the time. Other option is Persistent Attack, but it will stop being useful once we get Shatter Defenses later on. Okay, next level level 9 that's a really nice level where we get Vital Strike feat. This is a critical feat for this build that will change your character from a good tank with some crowd control to a killing machine. If you combine True Strike and Lord Person, Perfect Strike with Vital Strike while using oversized Buster Sword, you will do 48 damage, and if you crit, you can multiply that by 3 to a nice 144. With Keen Weapon, you have 20% chance to get that high number on level 9. To make it even more fun, if you kill an enemy with that attack, it will trigger Cleaving Finish and attack a nearby enemy, also applying Vital Strike. So that is really powerful. For level 3 spells, I recommend Displacement. If you don't have anybody that can cast Haste, you can take Haste, or Dispel Magic for those heavily buffed bosses. Also, so I don't forget, on level 11 we take Shatter Defenses to treat all the shaken and frightened enemies as flat-footed, making us hit even better. Level 12 is one more level of Scalefist Monk. It's good to take Monk here, even though we push our spell progression a bit, but we get +1 base attack bonus, free Monk feat and evasion. Evasion will help us against most of area spells, and for Monk feat we take Blind Fight, as it will start being useful very soon against Wild Hunt. Onwards we'll continue as Sword Saint. We want to take improved Vital Strike as soon as possible, so I recommend taking it on level 13 because it's our main source of damage. For level 4 spells, Stone Skin and Greater Invisibility are probably the best. On level 14, as you gain extra Magus feat, I would recommend using it on Dreadful Carnage. It makes you apply Dazzling Display every time you kill an enemy. But remember, you need 15 strength to be able to select that feat. So please wear a belt that increases your strength before leveling up. You should be using it anyway, but just a reminder. On level 15 we take a feat that will look strange, but it makes perfect sense when you look at the Magus spell list. So we'll take Meta Magic Quicken Spell. That allows you to cast a spell as a swift action instead of standard action. If you combine that with spell like True Strike, you can now in one turn apply True Strike, move and attack with Vital Strike. However, the Quicken spell makes also the spell really difficult to cast and require slot 4 levels higher. Lucky for us, next level will get level 5 slots and there is almost anything useful there, or at least not as useful as Quicken True Strike. For Magus Arcana we have two options now, Dimension Strike or Ghost Blade. Dimension Strike is better versus bosses as you can cast Extend True Strike and in the next round apply Dimension Strike and hit with Vital Strike. If an enemy is also shaken, you will have plus 20 inside to hit versus that AC of enemy that is also flat-footed. In other words, you only miss bosses on natural ones with such setup. Ghost Blade is great to counter for all of those annoying ghosts that you will fight in 2 final acts. So if you don't have anyone else that can handle them, I would recommend Ghost Blade so you wouldn't tear your hair out. On level 16 you get the level 5 of spells. As mentioned before, nothing really special here, pick whatever you want. We will mostly use it for True Strike, Quickened, anyhow. Level 17 is when you unlock your true power. We take the Greater Vital Strike as a feat. Now, without enough preparation, buffs and a bit of luck to nail those crits, we can one-shot almost all enemies in the game, including bosses. Okay, last 3 levels, 18, 20. Here you're so powerful that it doesn't really matter anymore, but I will try to give my recommendation how to optimize also those levels. On level 18, final Magus Arcana that we're gonna get. There are 3 good options here. Dimension Strike that we know, Pain Blade, and Quicken Magic. Out of those 3, I think Dimension Strike is the strongest, and Quicken Magic is a solid alternate. On level 19, Extra Arcane Pool. Sadly, it's the first time we have the free slot to take it, but it will help us to use our full power even longer. For level 6 spells, Transformation and True Strikes are probably the strongest. Just remember to use the Transformation only if you can hit enemies without casting True Strike, because you will not be able to cast any spells once transformed. True Strike helps versus all the displacement blurs and things like that, so it's awesome. On level 20, final extra Magus feat, I recommend Greater Weapon Focus just to get extra chance to hit those high level enemies. Quick note here, you can take Greater Cleave and Greater Cleaving Finish on level 19 and 20 for even more carnage. But I did test that option and there was some issue with Greater Cleaving Finish only attacking 2 enemies. I don't know if it's a bug or there is some strange mechanic there, but I didn't find it really worth your 2 feats. Now let's go quickly over items that you want for this build. For head, you want something that's boosting all your mental stats. The higher you can go, better. In the first part of the game, take a head that gives you the highest hint bonus, because that will help the most. Similar for the belt, bonus to all physical stats is the best, but in the first half of the game, belt that increases your dexterity or strength, preferably both, is the best option. For the back slot, we will use Castigator's Cloak once we get it. Solid choice for the build that enhances every aspect of it, but can be only worn by evil characters, that's why Lawful Evil would be our choice. For neck, until you have Manticore boots, any natural armor bonus amulet is good. Later we can take any Persuasion amulet or Gorona's amulet, but that's for the last 50 minutes of the game. For rings, Ring of Circumstances once you can get it, and a Fortunate Fencer. Until you have Castigator's Cloak, Ring of Deflection is a must. For braces, take the strongest braces of armor you can find. Mesmerizing Robe is amazing to help us land those fears on bosses, so that's a great decision for your chest. Good monks also have great tanking robes, but we don't need that. We're evil. Gloves don't offer that much to us, but Royal Gloves of Valor are a solid source of greater heroism that helps us a lot. Boots, or I should say Manticore skin boots, are a great source of normal armor and stacking movement speed. Finally, weapons. You will have 2 different bastard swords that you are going to use depending on the situation. One-handed when you want to hit multiple times while fighting weak enemies. Combined with spell strike, haste, you should have around 5 attacks per round. Good as example of such weapon is Unstoppable Canada. Also, you will be using one-handed bastard swords until you get Vital Strike, because they are just better with the spell strike. Two-handed oversized bastard sword is the weapon you have for tough enemies. You combine it with Enlarged Person or Legendary Proportions cast by your mage, Lead Blades from the wand, and Sword Saint Perfect Strike, and you have a crazy combo. Endgame weapon you want to use is Graveyard of Giants or any other strong oversized bastard sword that you get from Amiri. In the description I will put a link to a Google document providing extra information and links to all the recommended items so you can check where to get them, what they do, and what other alternatives are also possible. Now, very important item, Wand of Lead Blades. There is one wand in the whole game with 16 charges on it. You will find it already in Act 1. It makes this build go from crazy strong to even stronger. But you should only use it on the toughest fights. Then 16 charges of 1 minute each should be enough for the whole game. Also, since rods are a great source of power in Pathfinder, I would recommend using Lesser Rod of Quicken. You can use higher ones, but no need, since you will quicken mostly level 1 to 3 spells anyhow. And Lesser Rod of Extend, to extend level 1 to 3 spells. Rod of Extend, so a higher version of that rod, is good later on if you can spare it. If not, you can use your Extend magic for all the spells that are spell level higher than 3. But there's not many of those that you want to use. Phew, that took longer than I planned. If you like the build or found the video enjoyable, like, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments. Well, technically you can also leave your thoughts in the comments. If you didn't like, do as you want. And with that, I think I'm done with Pathfinder Kingmaker, and I finally can move to the Wrath of the Righteous, so expect the next videos to be more about that. Also, you're welcome to join me on my streams here on YouTube to talk about Pathfinder and other games. But for now, take care, stay safe, see you next time, bye.